Teacher Tribe. Welcome back to another week. My name is Allison Jones. I am a second grade teacher in Treasure Coast, Florida. For those who are new, for those who are returning, thank you for being a part of the Teacher Tribe. So today is Monday, October 17th, and it is just past dismissal time. Always remember to take a breath, which I had to take several today. And let me explain to you why. So my team lead has been out because her husband's been having some health issues. So she has been taking care of business on the home front. So thankfully, there has been subs. She's been putting in, at the moment she finds out she can't come the next day because of something going on, she puts in for a sub, and thankfully subs have been accepting. So we haven't had to split her class yet. So do you remember about a month ago when I told you of one of my teammates who quit? I moved into her classroom. One of the big reasons why she left is because of one of her students whose behavior is so terrible. And our team lead, when we had to split her class, my team lead took that friend because my team lead's very old school. She doesn't play. But I guess, I don't know, whatever she's doing, it works for her. So because she's been out and this friend's eligibility staffing is on Wednesday, we have to have a general teacher in there. They asked me to fill in for her in case she's not here, and it doesn't look like she will be. So I said, okay, what do you need me to do? Because, it's not my student. If you need me to speak on that teacher's behalf, I don't have any data to say. Yeah, so I was hoping, the principal this morning, I was hoping you would take him for today and take notes on how he is. And then on Wednesday, if we can't have his teacher there, you can fill in. I said, okay. Sure. So I told her, all right, make sure he has X, Y, and Z. And she said, okay, I'll make sure the counselor, when she brings him in, she'll have all of those things. So my students came in. I had one friend not here today. So I said, okay, he can sit in his seat. This way he's still included with the class. This morning was fine. He was an angel. I had no issues with him this morning. Then we played a Kahoot game as a class. You would think playing a Kahoot, a fun educational game, he would get excited and he'll be able to participate. He wasn't winning and he started to get upset. And then it went downhill from there. By the grace of God, I did not put my hands on this child. Obviously, I know I can't touch nobody, but okay. So when he started to shut down, was right after the game. So while everyone's putting the computers away, because my class does this a lot. I like to make Kahoots and I like to use the Kahoots that are there when we're learning a new topic. So we do Kahoots a lot. And they know the rules to doing Kahoots. When we do a Kahoot, everyone is quiet. The top 3 people, we cheer on our classmates. So the people who got top 3, they get a dojo for getting top 3. And everyone cheers on their fellow classmates because we're a class family. This guest into our class family did not agree with us cheering on our classmates. He was very upset at the fact that he lost. And I tried to console him. Well, we're just learning this skill. We're doing long I. That's our phonics topic for the week. I know about that already. I said, okay, well then why didn't you do better? If you know about it, why are we so upset? This was a practice. This was our first time. We're introducing it in depth as a class, so it's okay if you didn't win. And he's just upset, and I'm like, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry that you're upset, but we need to move on to math. Let's get your math book out. He didn't want to do anything. He started with the attitude, then he drops to the floor. That's when I'm like, all right, my class is not accustomed to this. So I had to let everyone know. What grade are we in? Everyone answers second grade. Okay, second graders don't sit on the floor. I'm not addressing our friend on the floor. I'm addressing my class. This way I can get them to focus on what they need to focus on, because I don't want our distraction to mess up what we have going on. So everyone tells me they're in second grade. I said, okay, we need to act like second graders and make sure we stay on task and we get our math work done, thinking it'll click for this friend and he'll get up and get what he needs to get and join the rest of the class. He was doing fine this morning. Nope, didn't register at all for him. So everybody else takes out their math book. I tell him to go and get his math book so he can participate with the class. He wanted a class job and everything when we were doing that. I said, okay, why don't you be co-captain and help out this group's captain? So you need to make sure you're doing what you need to do, and you also need to help out the other groups to make sure they're doing what they need to do. So you need to make sure everybody is college ready. He did not want to get up. He did not want to get his math book. He stayed on the floor. I said, all right, everybody else gets their math book. I start teaching. He starts walking around my room, trying to redirect everybody. Nope, we're not going to acknowledge walking around the room. Stay focused on what we need to do. He continues to walk around the room. Then his jacket goes above his head, so he's walking around with his jacket above his head. At this point, my blood is boiling because my kids don't do this. They know Miss Jones don't do this. They know. So he's walking around the room. He's looking at things. And then what bothered me is when he's walking close to my kids with his jacket above his head and he starts to touch my friends. That's when my mama bear came out. I'm like, no, we're not doing this. Let's go next door and take a little 5-minute break. No, I don't want to go. Well, apparently you don't want to stay in here, so let's go. So I had him go into the next room, which he did put up a fuss, and I didn't grab him, but I guided him. I had my hand behind his back, and I guided him into the room, into our pod, into the other room. Conveniently, when I'm walking in there to have him sit with the other teacher has a friend underneath the table. So it's like we traded. She took over that friend, and I go to the other friend who's lying under the table, pretending to be asleep. That's a safety issue. And he's right by the computer cart. So anyhow, that toppled over. So I go down to that friend, and I kind of squat next to him. I said, what grade are we in? Are we acting like we're 3? Are we in kindergarten? And he kind of wakes up and he starts to slowly get out from under the table. I said, thank you. Now show me we can be in second grade, go to our seat, and let's do what we have to do. He got up and he went to his seat. I'm like, if only it was so easy for my friend that I have today. Anywho, after I come back in the room, continue teaching math. After almost between 5 and 10 minutes, I don't know how long I left him over there. I go back and get him. At this point, he's sitting next to the other teacher who's doing small groups for math. And I tell him, all right, come on. And now all of a sudden he's catching attitude again because he doesn't want to come back. I'm sorry. You were only here for a few minutes to cool off. You're my responsibility. You need to come back into the room. It took him a long time, but I got him back into this room. But then he continued with the foolishness again. Jacket went back above his head. He continues to walk around. At this point now, my yoga balls that I have at the back for flexible seating, he goes over there and he starts kicking my balls. Now, I wanted to wring him by his neck. At this point, I'm like, no, you're not going to destroy my property. And then after he keeps kicking the balls and he continues walking around and he's hitting my books in my library. I said, oh no, no, you're not staying in my room. Pick up the phone. I dial the principal. While I'm dialing the principal, he's still kicking my yoga ball. So I'm screaming at him while the principal is picking up the phone. And then I hear her say, Miss Jones. I said, hi, can you please have somebody come and remove a student from my room? And then she says, yes. I said, thank you. I hang up the phone. The moment I hang up the phone, the boy walks out of my room. Guys, he is my responsibility, and he decides to open my door and walk out of this classroom. All because he did not win a game that I just taught. Like, guys, whew, Lord, I'm getting like all hot and flustered just talking about it because he really tried me. He really tested my gangster. I'm telling you guys, he really tested me. He walked out of this room. I had one of my kids hold the door, and I walked up to him and I squatted next to him. I'm in a skirt today. So I just squatted next to him and I said, you are my responsibility. You never leave that room unless somebody is escorting you out. He looks me in my face and he says, I don't listen to people I don't like. I said, oh, I'm sorry you don't like me, but my love, you still need to be in my room and you're gonna respect me. And then he continued to ignore me. He just sat there. So I said, okay. So I came back and stood at my door. I had my students sit down. I had told my students continue working on what we're doing in your groups. And I stood at the door and let them sit out there. So I just stood out there and I watched him and I watched my class. About 5 minutes now, still nobody has come to get this child. And he keeps moving farther and farther down the hallway. So as long as I can see him, I'm not going to stress it. I'm not going to raise my blood pressure for him. Then he turns the corner. When he turned the corner, I had somebody come quickly hold this door, and I had to run down the hallway. I knocked on the clinic door, and the nurse rushed out. I said, please get him, because he walked out of my room, and I need to go back to my class. And then I came back to my class. And the moment I came inside, all I could do was thank my kids for being patient. And I nearly got choked up because I was so frustrated, and a few of my kids said, I'm sorry you have to deal with this. And when they said that, guys, like, my heart nearly melted. I'm like, because he wasn't just disrupting me, he was disrupting my kids. He was disrupting our flow, the way we do things. And the fact that they saw how frustrated I was getting, and the fact that I'm apologizing to them and they're apologizing to me, it melted my heart, guys. Like, immediately I was just like, take a breath, let's reconvene. But at that point we had 3 minutes before resource time, so we kind of all just took a deep breath. I had them put their pencil in their book, and we finished where we left off. So that friend left for about an hour or two. He didn't have lunch with us, he didn't do resource with us. After lunch, time for recess, guidance counselor came to me. I think he's ready to come back. I said, he can only come back if he's going to behave. I'm not going to tolerate that again. And then she says, well, he says he's going to behave. We'll, what? I said, okay, we'll see. He joined my class after lunch. We went out to recess. He came with my class when I called recess in. So that was a plus, because I've seen him act up where he doesn't want to end recess when everyone is leaving. So he didn't do that with me. We come inside. We do what we have to do for reading. I have a paper for him saying he needs to study spelling words, because that class goes over spelling words. And then he needs to do iReady on the computer. I said, all right, fine. So I gave him the list. I let him study the words. I didn't get the chance to test him, but I let him study. When he says he was ready, I said, okay, let me put you on the computer so I could finish doing what I was doing with my class. I got him his computer, or a computer, got him on, and he was on the computer. He was fine up until when my class was going to transition to another subject where it involved watching a video, a brain pop. That's when the problem arose. He was supposed to do 45 minutes for math. That's what the paper says. He decided to do reading. I said, I don't know why you're on reading. I told you to do math. So now when he's supposed to be coming off the computer, he didn't have enough time for his math. So I said, continue doing math. And then he goes, well, I've been doing reading. So I'm like, all right, finish the lesson you're doing and then you can come off. Now he's catching attitude all over again. I'm trying to compromise with him. He's catching attitude. He keeps trying to watch the video. He keeps trying to turn around and watch the video. So I'm just staring at him, turn around and finish the lesson. Oh my God. That's all he kept saying. Oh my God. I don't want to do this. And all he kept doing was complaining. To the point where he started watching the video. So-and-so, turn around. And he's ignoring me and continue watching the video. So I'm like, we gonna do this again? He ignored me and continued watching the video. So I got up and I stood right behind him. So I'm blocking his view of the screen. He did a few math problems and he tried to be slick and turn around. He saw I was there. He did another, and he keeps doing the problem. And then when he was almost done from finishing the lesson, he starts to ignore me again and he just starts to look around me. So I'm like, you know what? Stand up. So I took the chair away from him. He stood up. All he had to do was like 2 more problems and the lesson was done. So once the lesson was done, by that point, our brain pop was done. All he had to do was finish the lesson. He could have joined my class. He chose not to do it. So at that point, I took the computer. He goes, the lesson's done. I said, yep, you're done, but the video's already done too. So I take the computer so I could shut it down. Now he's mad he missed the video. He comes over here to get his things when my class is packing up their things, and he starts knocking things off my board. Guys, my blood started to boil again. He knocked down erasers and my champs, a few things from my champs. He just threw it on the board and started picking up his things. I said, pick up my things now. Ignored me. I grabbed his backpack. I didn't really like throw it across the room, but I grabbed his backpack and I put it on the floor. Do you like that I put your things on the floor? The moment he did that, I was about to say something. Thank God the guidance counselor walked in. I said, perfect timing. He just threw my things on the floor. And I explained to her how we had a good day from the moment he got back up until just now when he started catching attitude. And he starts throwing my things on the floor. So she made him pick it up, which he was hesitant about doing. And then I grabbed his backpack and I thanked him for picking up my things. And then he snatched the backpack out of me from my hand. It because the guidance counselor was there, I was going to snatch it right back. I'm not even going to lie to you. I was going to snatch it back. I thanked him for picking up my things. I tried to hand him back his things and he snatched it from my hand. Ooh, so I could use some adult juice. We're just going to leave it at that. I've ranted enough. Besides him, my kids were good today. I had no issues with my kids. Besides our normal taking forever to copy from the board when I write things on the board. Besides that, we had a pretty good day. My kids had a good day, besides the distraction. They were doing pretty well ignoring him. They did pretty good up until the end of the day when he started his foolishness again. So, remember to take a breath, Teacher Tribe. Remember to take a breath. Oh, my goodness. I don't know if you can hear the knocking behind me. There's a bus that is extremely late. It is 3:44, and our largest bus has not showed up yet. So all the kids are in the hallway by the front of the school, which is on the other side of this wall. So that's the knocking that you're hearing, if you hear it. Okay, I'm going to stop rambling. It's going to be a long video this week because I have all 5 days this week. So bye, Teacher Tribe. Hey, Teacher Tribe. Happy Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, October 18th, and it is dismissal time, or past dismissal time. Remember to take a breath. So I'm not going to rant and rave like yesterday, but I had that friend again yesterday, from the same friend as yesterday today. And when he came in, or when he was delivered this morning, my poor kids they all sighed. I know it's not funny, but they all just, and I kind of looked at them. I was like, just relax. It's okay. Because in the morning we had a good day. He was okay in the morning. And he had a tiger he kept playing with, and honest and truly, he wasn't disrupting anybody else, so I let him play with the tiger. God bless what he got done, but he wasn't disrupting my kids. I was kind of on him. Hey, did you copy what I did on the board? Did you do it? He tells me yes. I didn't go around him to see because I didn't want him to start, Anyhow, we were good this morning. Then I took him to resource. He had resource with his class. He had lunch with his class. And then he joined my class for recess. After recess, we came back into the room. And he started getting everything he needed to get. I want to say reading time is when he started to act up. Yesterday during reading, the note said for him to study his spelling words and then get on the computer for iReady. He asked me about doing that again today. I said, I was not told that you're doing anything different, so you're going to do what my class is doing. He didn't really like that. At first, he was okay. He did what he needed to do. And when I say he did what he needed to do, he really just took out the supplies and was kind of sitting there quietly. Because at first, we were doing group work. So he didn't really contribute. He didn't do what he really should have been doing. But again, he was quiet. All is well in the world when he's quiet. Then I guess he said he wasn't feeling good. His whole body is hurting him. He was just fine. All of a sudden, his whole body is hurting him. So I said, well, go and use the bathroom, drink a little bit of water. No, I want to go to the nurse. No, you're not leaving this room. Then the face started. Then he started kicking the desk. The desk he was sitting at, of course, it's in a group. So when he kicks his desk, it's moving the other desks as well. So I kind of ignored it. But then when the other desks started being moved, my kids started to, my mama bear came out. My kids started raising their hand. Miss Jones, he's kicking and moving my desk. So I asked him nicely, please stop doing that. He looked me dead in my face and he kept kicking the desk. So I said, okay. So I walked over there. I said, we're not going to listen. We're going to stand then. I'm going to take your chair. Took his chair, pulled it away, and he continued to kick the desk while he was standing. So I told the other student, I said, you know what? He is no longer in this group. I need you to ignore him and continue trying to work on what you're working on. Then what did he do at that point? I want to say that's when he started walking around the room again, and he went and he stood by my front door. So at the front door, remember, he's prone for walking out. So at the door, he's just leaning on the door, and he's like knocking on the door behind him, or he'll kick the door, or he'll play with the handle to make it sound like somebody's trying to get in the door. So I'm just walking around the room, letting my kid, come on, focus on your work, ignore it. Don't remember, we're second graders. We're going to act like second graders. Let's do our second grade work. And then he's mumbling. He's doing all of these things. And then, of course, while we're trying to ignore him and let my kids keep doing what they need to do, he starts kicking my things again. You not gonna kick my stuff. That's, no. So I call and I have somebody come and, no, that's not true. I called. That's what it was. Because he started, I kind of guided him away from my door, and he started walking around again. And he went over to my table and started putting things on the floor. So I said, you know what? I'm going to confiscate his little tiger that he was playing with in the morning. I'm taking away this tiger. And he threatens me. If you take away my tiger, I'm walking out of this room. I said, oh, really? Because I now have this tiger and it is now mine. The boy walked out the room. I didn't even go after him. That's when I buzzed the office. I buzzed the office and I said, hi, I have a student that walked out of the room. She verified who the student was. And then after I did that is when I kind of opened the door to peek to see where he was. And I saw somebody come and get him from the hallway. We continued to work. I want to say a little later, our guidance counselor came back in with him. She kind of tried to make a deal because, he was very upset about the tiger. If he's good the rest of the day, I will give him back his tiger. I said, that's fine, but that's really all up to him. I have no problem with him being in here when he behaves. When he behaves and participates, he's like every one of my other kids. No problem. It's him shutting down, being disrupted, fighting for attention is the problem. So the moment she left him in here, she had him go sit down. At this point, I already removed him from my group. So all of his stuff was relocated to, I have a table on the side where they do centers. All of his stuff was relocated to that table. So he's playing with the chair. He's rocking on the chair. He's taking another chair and putting it up for like a footrest. We're ignoring him. We're doing our work. When he started to get my attention again is when he got up and he started playing leapfrog with the chairs. One, that's a safety issue. Two, he's talking while he's doing it to get the attention. So I walk over then, I take the chair that he has and I put it away. And then he starts talking back to me. Like, that's going to bother me? There are more chairs. I said, okay, I'll take all the chairs then. Then he starts sitting on my table. I'm telling him to get off my table. And then he's looking me in my face and he's telling me no. So I stacked all of the chairs. And then I say, you see, you made a deal with the guidance counselor to get your tiger back if you behave the rest of the day. At this rate, you're not getting your tiger back. And then he goes, oh, so you're going to take my things? I said, do you deserve to get them back? You'll get it. Your deal was you'll get it back if you behave. Oh, how do you like it if I throw? That reminds me, pause. Let me go take my things out of the trash because he threw my thing in the trash. Hold on. This little boy says, so you going to take my things? How would you like it if I take your things? And he takes the things on the table and he pushes them all on the floor. See? How do you like that? So I say, you need to pick my things up off that table right now. And he looks at me again and says, no, you're not going to give me back my things. I'm not going to take your thing. I'm going to take your things. How do you like that? And he takes something else up. He walks over to my trash can and throws it in the trash can. Y'all, this boy was really testing me. You don't understand. Yesterday, him kicking my yoga balls is one thing. But you gonna pick up my things that I spent my money on for my students? You wanna throw it on the floor and throw it in the garbage? Bro. All I did was take a deep breath and I buzzed the office and I said, I have a student that is destroying my property. He needs to be removed now. I wanna say 30 seconds later, the assistant principal this time came to the door. And she called him, let's go. I said, no, please, before you take him, make him pick up my things that he put on the floor. So she comes into the room and she tells him in a very stern voice, pick up the things. He looks at her and tells her no. And then she's saying, pick up the things and apologize to Miss Jones. He said, no, she's not apologizing to me. She says, she doesn't need to apologize to you. Pick up the things. And I'm kind of standing there like, what the hell do I need to apologize to you for? What did I do? What did I do? Besides me, I should applaud myself for not beating the crap out of this child. Guys, I know you all know what I go through. I know some of you are going to tell me, oh, his home situation. But no, this is a whole nother level. Yes, his home situation is not the best, but his aunt is doing the best she can. I've spoken to Auntie, even though he's not my student. I even have a meeting tomorrow. Well, maybe. If his teacher comes back tomorrow, which she's supposed to, I don't have to go to the meeting for him tomorrow because she will be the one to go to the meeting. That was the purpose of me having him today, is for me to fill in for her if she's unable to go. So I have some data I can say on him. So I actually have to finish typing up my notes so I can send it to the guidance counselor for the meeting for tomorrow. So she comes in, she makes him pick up the things. He puts it back on the table. And then she's telling him, let's go, we need to go. And he refused to go outside. So she kind of counted to 5 like 3 times, but he eventually left. He did not come back in until like right before we left the room for dismissal. So, ooh, child. So this was another day of students testing my gangster and disrupting my kiddos. Yesterday, I felt bad because my kids apologized to me for going through it, and I apologized to them for them getting distracted. Today, they were over it just like I was. Because while he's saying things that I'm saying to the kid, look, you're messing with the wrong one. I'm not going to stand down, even though I low-key feel like I did. But it was more of me getting him out of here for his sake, because friends, I was on the verge. Teacher tribe, I was right there. I was right there. I was ready to jump. I was really feeling froggy. I'm not even going to lie to you. He was really testing my professionalism, but this is why it's always good to take a breath for this exact reason. So I'm going to finish typing up these notes with as much detail as I just gave you all. I know I said I wasn't going to rant today, but I ended up ranting anyways. Yes. He will not be in my room tomorrow, praise Jesus, because I can't do another day of it. Don't know what my team lead does, but she handles it. I want to say she bribes him with candy. I don't think he deserved it, but I'll for sure let her know what he did today. Side note, today we did get through a lot despite his issues. The only thing we didn't get the chance to do is catch up completely with writing, which we are behind. During week 3 of benchmark, we're supposed to be writing our essay at this point. We're not even done with week 2 with planning our essay. So big problem there. I only had 2 out. 1 went home early, so halfway through the day. So 3 technically, or 2.5. Besides him, my class was good. I had a normal day despite the distraction. Thank you for listening to my rants, friends, because you don't understand me. Even talking to you and recording myself talking about my day, it helps me. It helps me like woosah and decompress for the day. So thank you for sticking with me and listening to me rant and rave and vent about this child. And sometimes there's just kids who just, yeah. Anywho. I'm going to leave it at that, Teacher Tribe. I will see you all tomorrow for Wednesday. Bye, Teacher Tribe. Hi, Teacher Tribe. Happy Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, October 19th, and it is past dismissal time. Remember to take a breath. Okay. I just left a PTO/SAC meeting. SAC is School Advisory Council. I think that's what SAC stands for, SAC, School Advisory Council. I believe that's what it is. It's really just admin talking to the community about, or the parents about what's happening. And normally we combine SAC and PTO since the parents are already there. We do PTO after. But PTO, because we had our Boo Bash, of course, that last week, there was nothing to actually talk about yet, besides the fact that our fundraiser for Popcornopolis is coming in. They mentioned the winners. We're not one of them, unfortunately. I think we're in like 3rd place out of the 5 classes. So it was disappointing, but I'm not gonna say it to my kids yet until they announce the winners. They'll find out from them. I'm already upset that we didn't win. Anywho, yeah, it was a good day. My team lead is back. So she dealt with her friend today, and I guess they had a very long meeting. So again, reminder, the purpose of me having him yesterday and Monday was for the purpose of me collecting data. So if my team lead didn't return today, I would have to sit in on that meeting. And I heard it was a very long meeting. So I'm very glad I didn't have to sit in on that. But hopefully they can figure out whatever services this friend needs, because something's got to give. They need, no words. But we're going to leave that alone, because we're going to leave that alone. But yes, today was a good day for us. We only had one friend out. I hope she's okay. She wasn't here yesterday either. And then I had one friend go home early. Not really early, during reading time. So 2 hours early, I guess. But ultimately, it was a good day. What did we do today? Today, for math, we did a project. That is what you can see on the board. It hasn't been erased. I kind of did a doodle, or I should say like a blueprint of what I wanted their project to look like. So for Savvas and Vision, at the end of every chapter, they have a project that kind of touches upon the skill. So I chose 4D. So they have 4 options for chapter 4. And 4D is they had to make a brochure or a poster about the Kennedy Space Center. And they had to put the ticket prices on there. So they had to do the math with the ticket prices and add them up. So obviously the website will give them a child's ticket price. So they had to write that ticket price down and tell me how much would that ticket be if you bought 2 children tickets. So they had to do the math for that. And then there's another section for the 2-day pass. So they had to look at the 2-day pass price and tell me, do the math, and tell me how much it would be for 2 children's passes. But then, of course, because I'm extra, I had them do a little bit more. So I had them add facts on right there at the top. So I had them do a title, which the directions gave them a title anyway. So they wrote the title, or they could have changed it. I gave them that option. Had to give me at least 2 facts with all the research that we were doing. And then the big space in the middle, as you can see right there, they could draw a picture of anything pertaining to the Kennedy Space Center. And then at the bottom is where they're going to do the ticket prices, which was given to us based on the website. So that was fun. Most of the class turned it in and finished it. I still have some stragglers. So hopefully they can get it finished tomorrow, because tomorrow we start chapter 5-1. So that was math. We had resource. Today was music. Then we had lunch. Then we had recess, which was indoor recess. We had indoor recess day because it's Wednesday. And we already had the computers on our desk because of the research we did for math. So some of them went on the computer and played their games and so on and so forth. Reading, now we did pretty good staying on reading. So this is the last week of Unit 2, which is more of finalizing things. So we did our blueprint. So our blueprint for the unit is completely finished after today. We got through a lot of writing. So we played a lot of catch up because of the distractions we had these last 2 days. So we did pretty good. During writing, I put on the video for Ye Shen, which even though that was last week's story, because they're writing about Ye Shen, I put on the cartoon video of Ye Shen. So they had another perspective. So they had their story and they had the cartoon. And then we even got to kind of do a compare and contrast at the end of it, because I got to talk about the differences that they saw based on the book and based on what they saw in the video, despite obviously the way that the cartoon and the drawings are. But we got to talk about that. So I kind of like to, combine that stuff. Plus watching the cartoon. Who wouldn't want to watch a cartoon? So it was a good day, ultimately. And now that all of my meetings are done, I am going to clean off this table and be out of here. So I will see you tomorrow, Teacher Tribe. Bye. Hi, Teacher Tribe. Happy Friday Eve. It is Thursday, October 20th, and it is way past dismissal time. Remember to take a breath. So, I'm happy tomorrow's Friday. we're just gonna leave it at that. I'm happy tomorrow's Friday. Today was a decent day. I had 3 out today, and 1 left maybe an hour early because she did Dynamic Dolphin. So she was awarded for the month of October. So because her award ceremony was today, she got to leave a little bit. She left right after her ceremony, long story short. So I ended the day with 16 out of my 20 kiddos. I honestly don't have much to tell you. Today was a really good day. We got through a lot, didn't finish much, but we got kind of caught up, or we're still in the process of getting caught up. So because we have 2 days next week, even though tomorrow's day 5 of the last day of the unit, we have 2 days next week before we start unit 3 to finish up officially the unit. So Monday is the district test for the unit 2 test, and then Tuesday is more like a review / catch up for the unit, so like finalize everything. So I'm going to use that day on Tuesday to finish their culminating task, which for this unit, so in unit 1, they had to make a postcard with the habitat, which I currently have up on our growing work. For unit 2, because we talked about internal and external problems, they had to make a survival guide on how to survive, or how to, it's not really a survival guide. I shouldn't say that. It's more like a guide on solving problems. So if you're having an internal problem, you're gonna open up their guide and you're going to see what an internal problem is and different examples on how to solve it. And then on the opposite side, it's the same thing for external. And then they're supposed to add pictures and use the stories that we read in the unit as examples. So I thought that was kind of cool. And, my kids can get creative. Well, some of them can get creative. Others are kind of like me, where they're not really creative. You got to tell me what to do. So we started that today. So I can let them finish that on Tuesday, as well as us catching up with writing our essay for Unit 2 on Tuesday. So yeah, we're doing good. Today was a good day, ultimately. So I don't have much to tell you, which is a good thing because I've been talking a lot about my problems this week. So I'm going to wrap it up, and I will see you all tomorrow for Fun Friday. Bye, Teacher Tribe. Hey, Teacher Tribe. Happy Friday. Today is Friday, October 21st, and it is past dismissal time. Remember to take a breath. I, thankfully, have nothing to tell you. Today was a regular schmegular day, and that is fantastic because it is Friday, and it's been a hell of a week, and I'm ready to go home. So it is currently 3:40. Dismissal time was at 3:15. So my week is officially over. I just finished writing receipts for the money I received today and writing up all the forms so I can turn it in on my way out the door. Today was a good Friday. I did take Fun Friday pictures. The only reason I haven't posted any Fun Friday pictures yet with YouTube is because I haven't gotten permission from all my families yet to post them, as well as on my teacher Instagram, because I don't think I've posted anything on my teacher Instagram this school year. So yeah, can't post any of our class photos yet because I'm still waiting on getting the approval from all parents. So can't do that. I'm not even touching our Turnitin bin today, but we did do some things for a grade today. I created a Kahoot for our vocabulary test. So instead of giving them a regular vocab test, I turned it into a Kahoot. So they did it on the board. Entered those grades already because, Kahoot tallies and has all the scores. So yay, that is done in the system, graded. The only thing I have to do with that is my 3 friends who were out today. I'm going to give them the Kahoot. Maybe I'll put it have them go to the small group table and do it. And I had one friend who I should have given a 0 who was using her notes the whole time the test was happening. So when I'm at the front of the board, standing and looking out at everybody, she had her notes. I don't know if it was in her desk that she was pulling out to use, but everyone decided to tell me after the fact, oh, she was using her notes, and she eventually admitted that yes, she did use it during the test. So instead of me giving her a 0, because she's a really good student, so I'm giving her a pass. She did clip down, but I'm not going to give her a 0. Only reason I'm not going to give her a 0 is because of the fact that I have to have my kids who missed it redo it. So I'm going to make her redo it with them next week. At least I'm contemplating on letting her do that. I haven't entered the 0 yet. It's her first offense. She's a really good kid. So I'm giving her a pass this one time. But again, she clipped down, so she lost a dojo for it. But yeah, because she would have gotten a 3. Even though I feel like she probably would have gotten a 3 normally, just because of the fact that she cheated and used her notes. I'm not giving her that grade. I'm going to make her take it again. So that was really my only hiccup today. And I tried to make it more fun during reading time before they did their poem, which was also a grade. I had to teach them about similes. So one of the members in our team found a Nearpod on similes. So I had them do that to kind of teach them about similes first. So instead of me talking and about it, give them a brief description. Then they did the Nearpod. So I set up the Nearpod, gave them all the code, and they all did it at their own pace, which they really enjoyed. So after that, I had to find a Time to Climb. For those who know Nearpod, Time to Climb is kind of like a Kahoot, but it's a competitive Kahoot where you could see your character climb the hill or the mountain or whatever theme for the Time to Climb you picked. They voted on the Halloween theme, so they had to climb up the passage to a spooky house. So, and then they all picked a character like a zombie or a pumpkin head or whatever. So they enjoyed that. And then they answered questions on which sentence is a simile and things of that nature. So they did pretty good. So I had them do that before they had to identify the similes and the rhyming words in their magazine for the end of this unit. So it was a good day, ultimately. No complaints. Besides Monday and Tuesday, this week was pretty good with my kids. I had no real issues with them. But we did have quite a few absences this week. Like I had 3 kids today. And then my girl who was out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday was back today. So she was playing catch up. Simple stuff. But it was a good day. This week, for the most part, was a good week. So I'm going to end it on a positive note. All right, Teacher Tribe. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Check the description box for the Creative Fabrica card that I told you about, where you can have a lot of resources. You get 5 downloads, any type of resource every week, and it's only for $2.99 for a year. Come on, guys. It's like paying $2.99 for pay teachers, but you pay for teachers pay teachers per resource. Creative Fabrica, you pay for your year membership, and every week you can download any 5 resources. Come on, click that link in the description box and check it out. Trust me, it's worth it. So you have that. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my Amazon wish list, which is also in the description box. And I will see you all next week. Bye, Teacher Tribe.